Hey everyone, I wanted to show the quick state of the current game. My game is called Adrift. It's gonna be a horror type game where you have to run away from an enemy. This is the current 3D scene that I put together. It has some lighting, some assets, stuff that I built just to get the game started for testing. In this early stages, I didn't really want to focus on any asset designs, just mostly getting stuff into places of where I want to be. Right here, you can actually see the full map. That's what I'm planning to build out. So it's going to be a pretty big map. This is just the cockpit area of the map. Yeah, and it has some lighting and some cool stuff, as well as the VR headset is currently working. I have this on my head and I'm able to move all around if I wanted to, as you can see. Next, I just wanted to show you some quick stuff that you can do in Unity. The first thing I wanted to show was this package called Pro Builder. Pro Builder is a cool package that allows you to edit any object, the vertices of them, in very cool ways. Here, I'm just going to edit a cube to show you how that is kind of done. You can choose any face or any point on the cube and move it as you want, like so. You can also move the faces and extrude them, as well as rotate them. And even shrink or expand them, which is pretty cool. As you can imagine, this can allow you to do a lot of cool stuff. This package is also given with Unity, so it should be pretty simple to install. Next, I want to show you a cool freeform tool where you can make any shape you want and extrude it, which is very powerful, as you can probably guess. You can also, if I do this right, choose the point on the, let me just, yeah. So you can choose the faces that you had extruded and do the exact same things that you did to the cube if you wanted. You can extrude it, or kind of just move the face. You can extrude it here. You can even do it backwards, which kind of makes like a window, which is pretty cool. You can move as much as you want, which is, I feel, pretty sick, to be honest. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys one of my favorite tools here. I really like the stairs. If you take a look here, the stairs, it seems pretty simple as it is, but there's so much functionality, especially in the interface section here, the tab. You can change how many stairs there are, the rotation, which is really cool. You can make some cool structures with this very fast and easy for gray boxing. Like we can do this and just add like a cube. The cool thing is that every single object in Pro Builder has this little section here where you can edit the features of that thing and make it be what you want it to be pretty fast. So if you needed to make a level, you can edit pretty fast and move your cube down here, which is pretty sick. You can also do some cool stuff like you could subdivide the faces. You just have to select which face you want. You can see all the options there. Subdivide. You can even bevel, which is pretty cool. If you select like an edge, you can bevel it and choose how much you want to bevel it in the bottom right there. Next, I just want to show some cool assets I made. I made a chair. This is the asset from earlier that I had the demo. This is a little crate that I made. And this is a light bar to add some light in the scene since we're in space. A little console. Oh, and this is part of the console. You can add it on. A pillar with a light bar on the pillar and a pillow, which is pretty cool. These didn't take that long to make, so I highly recommend using Pro Builder if you want to make a gray box scene that you can test your game in. Okay, so lastly, I just want to show how you can combine all of this to make a light bar. So if we make a cylinder with Pro Builder, we can edit how many surfaces it has to make it more circular, as well as changing the dimensions to make it more like a bar, like so. And then we can rotate it as well to make it horizontal. And then also if we wanted to be fancy, we could try to edit more with Pro Builder. Like these can maybe make like a case for the light so that way it looks like a light bulb or a light bar that you see in a garage. But for now, we'll just leave it and we can make a new material. So to make a light material, you can go into the create section and then it should be, yes, rendering a material. Then to make a light bar, you can add the name and you can also click it to be emissions. This is important. It has to say that it will emit something and then choose the intensity. We can choose it by just clicking on it here. I kind of like to have a lot of light, so I just go into here and I up this value really high. And then as you can see, it makes it like really shiny. And we can just drag and drop it onto our object. And now this already looks pretty good. Like we have a light bar. That's pretty good. But we can also add a point light to add some of that cool misty effect. We can also add some emissions. So if you want to add like some particles or cool stuff here, there's a bunch of settings to mess with. Honestly, I don't really know what all of this does, but there's a bunch of cool stuff here like the color, also the rate and the speed. Everything here is pretty cool. I'm sure you guys can come up with a better design than I can. I'm not really much of a designer, but yeah. Thank you guys.